First of all, I am Blair Boone-Migura. I am the founder and executive director of the Art Song Preservation Society. So thank you for joining us this afternoon as part of our Season of Song festival. And I'd like to just say that we are determined to continue playing an active role in the landscape of artistic contributions here in New York. And it's been, as you know, quite challenging during a pandemic. This festival was supposed to occur previously under the project title Spring into Song this past spring. And regrettably and sadly, and for obvious reasons, we had to postpone. But again, we recognize that this is as good a time as ever to continue reaching out to communities who are at this point in desperate need for connection to the arts and to some distractions just from the unusual times we all seem to be living in, from pandemics to fires, political unrest. So it seems like the perfect time to try to at least take a moment for some beauty and for some insight into another culture or another artistic expression or platform that doesn't oftentimes get enough attention. I'd like to thank you for joining today, and obviously thank our singers and thank our guest artists, as we have some incredible guest artists lined up this season for you, and today is no exception. I'll talk a little bit later during the presentation today about some of the upcoming events, but suffice it to say, none of this could be done without the contribution of the Upper Manhattan Empowerment Development Corporation, which is a grant we received that was administered by Lower Manhattan Cultural Communities. LMCC is what we usually refer to them, their acronym. And so we thank them as being one of the recognized organizations that contribute to the artistic community in Upper West Side Manhattan, since typically and regularly this event would have been hosted by the Manhattan School of Music, which is in Morningside Heights. Also, our festival, A Season of Song, could not have been done, it would not be possible without the contribution of another grant we received, Creative Engagement, which is supported by New York City and New York State through the Department of Cultural Affairs and the City Council. So for that, we must thank our governor and our mayor, our city, our state, for their contribution in allowing this festival to continue under such strange circumstances during this pandemic. So thank you to our funders, to our grantors, to the city and state, and again to you, our community, our individual donors, and obviously the guest artists and artists that make up the festival that you'll be seeing today and throughout the year. I say year because we're going to continue with doing events every 2 weeks. We had one 2 weeks ago on Saturday. We have one today, a masterclass with the prominent pianist Thomas Muraco, who is on faculty at the Manhattan School of Music. I'll say a bit more about him in the introduction. But next, 2 weeks from today, will be another pianist, Mark Markham, who is known for his time accompanying famed soprano Jessie Norman. And 2 weeks after that will be a master class with Neil Seamer, a internationally established voice teacher who has students on Broadway and at several opera houses throughout the world. And then 2 weeks after that, into November, we'll have specialists of Latin American song. Maya Hoover and Jose Melendez will be doing a joint masterclass. So we have some wonderful masterclasses, and we have some wonderful recitals as well coming up for you in the early part of 2021 as the festival continues. All of that can be found on our website. Today, the suggested donation for this season, we thought we wanted to make it very easy on everyone's pocketbook. So we're doing a suggested donation this festival just because of with everything going on. We know that we recognize that this is not an easy time for everyone. But if you can give something, we ask for $10 if possible. But no amount is too small. and no amount is too big. So whatever you have that you can give is certainly welcome and will help us to continue to produce events, master classes, recitals, and community concerts, outreach concerts for you in the area of art song. So I'm going to ask that you all turn on your video if possible, if you find yourself with, it's opportune, just because it will help to add to the feel of an actual live event, masterclass event. And our guest artist requested it too, because as an artist, he's used to feeding off of the energy of, it's a kind of a give and response with the audience when he's at the piano. And it's the same thing when he's teaching. So when he sees faces, sees the nodding of heads, you can throw a question in the chat room for he or I. If he doesn't get to it, I'll review it and I'll mention it to him. And I will unmute all of you at the end so that you can engage with our guest artists and with our singers. Okay, with that, I just want to talk a little bit about Thomas Muraco. He is, as I stated, he is an internationally established pianist with a great reputation. I feel very honored to be able to call him a friend, to be quite honest, and a colleague and a mentor, someone who inspires me. He's simply one of the best artists of his generation. He has a range that is quite incredible. He's a polyglot that speaks several languages, French, German. I know those fluently. I believe his Italian is fluent as well, Portuguese. So he's quite something. We feel very lucky to have him teaching this German leader masterclass, and in 2021 we'll have him back for a European art song masterclass to kind of allow him the opportunity to expand beyond just the German repertoire. He's famous for partnering with some of the most incredible voices, some that inspire me the most for sure, like Arleen Augér, Martina Arroyo, Phyllis Curtin, Denyce Graves, Ben Heppner, John Ayler, Jennie Tourel, Dolora Zajick, Benita Valente. So I'm sure these names ring a bell. If not, you should know they are some of the most prominent professionals. So the singers really have someone incredible at their disposal today. Before turning it over to Thomas Muraco, Maestro Muraco, and I say maestro because he's not just a pianist and a vocal coach, but he's also a conductor. So I will show you just a little clip that I thought to get us started. And this is going to be Thomas Muraco with French soprano Virginie Verez performing an excerpt from Brahms's Zigeunerlieder, his gypsy songs. And it's one of my favorite collections of songs by Brahms. Sadly, we don't have time to hear the entire set or collection. It's about 15 minutes, but I thought I'd just give you a little taste of it by playing the last one. So here we go.
Seht es wohl nach dir
There we go. So before we get started, I just want to also speak to the obvious. This is very strange to be doing this in a virtual setting. And while we're getting used to it and we're getting used to Zoom calls, our recitals and our master classes obviously usually take places in halls, much like this virtual background that's behind me at the Manhattan School of Music. So I just say this to beg your indulgence for any small technical glitches that may arise. We'll just roll with the punches, acknowledge them, and then move on. So hopefully there won't be any this afternoon. Okay, with that, we had 5 singers on the program scheduled today. Sadly, one awoke ill. Our very first singer, Grace McCreary, who was to sing Schubert's Nacht und Träume, is ill. So we wish her the best. And please, everyone, stay safe and healthy during these times. So with that, we'll only have 4 singers today. We're going to move right on to Lisa Bryst, who will be singing Du bist wie eine Blume, then Samantha Burke, In der Fremde, Julia Grisel, Abendlied, and Marissa Moultrie, Befreit. But without further ado, I'd like to turn the mic over to our guest artist today, Thomas Muraco, so we can give him a virtual round of applause. And let's see, I probably have to... Oh, he is unmuted. Good. Tom, are you there?
I just unmuted myself.
Oh, good. Okay.
I just did that.
Excellent. And Lisa can unmute herself as well. Excellent.
So welcome to all of you. This is the first time I'm doing a master class on Zoom. I teach a lot on Zoom at MSM, but I've never done this with people I don't know. So I'm looking forward to this, and we'll just play it by ear to see what happens in terms of. I assume, Lisa, that you have a piano accompaniment there.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and we may have to play with distance, whether you should come closer or farther away. So just watch me in case I do this. For instance, what you just said was very muted and kind of in the background. But maybe could you sing a phrase, just anything, just so we can check balance? Okay. So could you come a little closer, Lisa, and see what happens? Now would you? I think that's probably better.
Okay.
And we'll. So, can we do this with each person? Could we read a good English translation first of your poem,
Okay.
and then we'll. I'm curious what you choose. I brought some translations. I'm in my apartment, so everything's right here. So I have just about everything I need here. But Lisa, could you read that? And I'm curious what it is. Could you can you also put up? Is it possible to put on the screen the music?
Oh, wow.
No.
I'm sorry.
No. Okay. Don't worry about it. Oh, that lady there has it. So do you know how to put it up on the screen? You're muted, so I can't hear you.
It here, but I don't know. How
Can anybody tell her how to put that up on the screen?
Tom,
Yes?
I'm sorry. What is it that you would like?
To put the music up, share the screen.
Oh, share the screen for the music. Yeah, I was wondering, Lisa, if you want to email me the music, if you have it there at your disposal.
No. This lady has it right here.
This lady is Julia Lovett. I think you've played for her a few times.
Sorry?
This lady is Julia Lovett. I think
Julia Lovett. Oh my Lord. We went to school together. Oh my.
we did.
Oh my God. What a surprise.
Yes, so good to see you.
That was like 1822.
Says you.
Oh my God. I haven't seen you since.
Oh, don't say it. Don't
Don't
broadcast it. No.
don't say it. Okay, Julia. Wow. Wow. Okay. So Julia, do you know how to put it up?
I don't accept just to hold it in front of the camera.
Yeah, but they won't be able to see that.
That you can't see. Right.
Right.
I don't know how to do it either.
Tom, if you'd like to just go on, I can find the music and then I'll get it up.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay. All right. So meanwhile, Lisa's going to read a translation.
Okay.
Let's mute us here.
And Lisa, take your time and read the poem the way you want us to understand it.
You are like a flower.
Excuse me, one second. Everybody, how do you hear her voice through this mic? Can you hear her well, or does it seem kind of muted?
It's good.
Okay. Mine sounds muted, but
Ah, I see. Okay.
compared to you, Blair, you're very, 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 very clear.
I'm using an external mic. Maybe that's why it's a little better.
Okay. Maybe Lisa, could you come closer when you're reading?
Yes, I can.
Oh, much better, much better.
All right. You are like a flower, so sweet and fair and pure. I look at you and sadness steals into my heart. Feel as if I should lay my hands upon your head, praying that God preserve you so pure and fair and beautiful.
Good. So, let me ask first why you chose this piece to sing. What drew you to it?
This is my favorite piece by Schumann.
Ah,
I love the words, I love the text.
great. Everybody should choose songs that touch them and move them. There's so much repertoire, you never have to sing something that you don't identify with. So the fact that you said that is great. Okay, so never sing a song that you don't, I'll even say desperately feel inside of you. The poem and as well as the music. Great, Lisa. Okay, so how about if you read it in German
Okay.
before you sing it?
Du bist wie eine Blume, so hold und schön und rein. Ich schau dich an und Wehmut schleicht mir ins Herz hinein. Mir ist, als ob ich die Hände aufs Haupt dir legen sollt, betend, dass Gott dich erhalte, so rein und schön und hold.
Okay, so let's talk. Sorry, that's my dog. Sorry, someone must be at the door. I'm sorry.
Lisa,
Yes.
I'm looking online for the music and I can't seem to find it. Strangely, I don't know if you do have a PDF that if you want to email it to me, I can at least place it up here for.
I'm very sorry.
So.
There was someone at the elevator and not trying to break into my apartment. So, Lisa, as you read that, you're somewhat putting the German into your American speech pattern rather than converting to the German speech pattern, or if it were French, the French speech pattern. And you're basically doing the right things, but you're still a little Americana in doing it. So let me read it, and you're gonna work. I'm gonna do a phrase. You're gonna do a phrase. Okay? And imitating where I'm going and how far I'm going. I don't have it in front of me, but I think I know it by memory. Du bist wie eine Blume,
Du bist wie eine Blume,
so hold und schön und rein.
so hold und schön und rein.
So the very first word, so, in German is very closed. You're doing a sort of closed rather than so halt.
So hold.
And halt is not equivalent to any part of the way we say H-O-L-D. It's going to be a very open vowel. So halt.
So hold.
Und schön und rein.
Und schön und rein.
Ich schau dich an.
Ich schau dich an.
Und Wehmut.
Und Wehmut.
Right, that must be a very closed and long vowel. Wehmut.
Wehmut.
Right. Schleicht mir ins Herz hinein.
Schleicht mir ins Herz hinein.
So you're fading in and out again, Lisa. I don't know why. Does everybody else get that?
Schleicht mir ins Herz hinein.
Thank you. And when you did it before, you did hinein with a glottal. You can't do the glottal there. The word is hinein. Okay?
Hinein.
Right. Mir ist,
Mir ist,
als ob ich die Hände
als ob ich die Hände
aufs Haupt dir legen sollt.
aufs Haupt dir legen sollt.
Legen is a very long and closed vowel. Legen sollt.
Legen sollt.
And you're relating the O to our O in English rather than open the vowel. Sollt.
Legen sollt.
Right. Betend, dass Gott dich erhalte.
Betend, dass Gott dich erhalte.
So rein und schön und hold.
So rein und schön und hold.
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 Let's talk about your O umlaut. So O umlaut can be opened or closed depending on what follows it. So in the word schön, it's very closed and you're tending to open it. So you have to think of the resonance of E. So would you do once schön?
Schön.
Now sustain that and bring your lips around it into a closed O. So watch me do it. Schön.
Schön. Schön.
So now you're starting out with an American she rather than a German e. Schön.
Schön.
Yes, that's the resonance you have to find when you sing it. So any questions about anything I'm saying?
Alles klar. All is clear.
Alles klar. You've studied German.
Yes.
Where did you do that?
I lived in Berlin. I studied German at a language school in Berlin. I studied German with you at Manhattan School of Music.
I remember.
And I also, yes, I lived in Berlin, Germany for a few years and studied the language there.
Wow, I don't think I knew that. That's great. So you really got imbued with the German culture.
Yes.
Well, on today we have in attendance a friend of mine in Germany, Thomas Schubert down there. He's coming to us from a little town called Diepholz, which is south of Bremen. So he may want to say something to people about their German as well. So I may open the floor to him at some point. But that's great. So how did you feel yourself living in Berlin?
I loved it. I I adapted to the culture, and I also adapted to the language. I spoke it every day, so it was wonderful.
Fabulous, fabulous. And how about the food?
The food was great. They have big portion sizes.
They have
I
what?
They have big portion sizes. I loved it.
Good portion size compared to France, right? Great. Okay, let's do the song.
Okay. Du bist wie eine Blume, zart und schön und rein. Ich schau dich an und Wehmut steigt mir ins Herz hinein. Mir ist, als ob ich die Hände aufs Haupt legen sollt. Betend, dass Gott dich erhalte, so rein und schön und hold.
Good. Okay. Lisa, where did you find the accompaniment?
YouTube.
Okay, because the tempo is too slow and it's very pedantic in 4. The pianist is playing it in 4 and it's marked in 2, as I remember. Am I correct?
Yes, I sent the music. I sent the music. I emailed you the music.
Okay, it's okay. I don't need to. I mean, I don't need to look at it. But what's happening is that because it's like I would have to do what that pianist is doing. I would have to conduct it this way. Boom, 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 and it makes it very, very slow and pedantic. It needs to have a flow so that you're thinking it in 2, and you'll be able to make the phrases longer than you're doing because you're having to breathe because the pianist is very ploddy. You don't have another one, do you, by any chance? Another accompaniment?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I actually do.
Then maybe that one is better and more in a feeling of 2. Because, and then let's talk about, while you're looking, you know from having lived in Germany that German, unlike French, has long and short vowels. So the vowels are short when they're followed by 2 consonants. You're tending to sing everything long because it's slow, rather than allowing the consonants also to be a part of the line. So the legato feeling in German is based on consonants as well as vowels, not just vowels as in French or Italian. So if you think, and you know this because you know the language, think about where the vowels are short. Bist is a short vowel. Blume is a long vowel. Holt is a short vowel. Holt. Schön is long. Rein is long. Ich schau dich an. Ich schau dich an. Und Wehmut, very long. Schleicht mir ins Herz. Herz is a very short vowel. So that means when there's a short vowel, give us more consonants and put the consonants on the breath. And so that they vibrate on the breath. You're tending to do them all the consonants short, the way you would do for Italian single consonants. So let's do it again, and let's do that first of all, so that you're giving me some shorter vowels where the consonants take up some of the legato.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And you said you found another accompaniment?
Yes, this is the pianist is Peter Ulanowski. The pianist is Peter Ulanowski, whose father was the pianist for Lotte Lehmann.
Yes. I know Paul Ulanowski. I know who he was. Yes, exactly. So let's see what happens with this. I'm very curious.
Okay. Du bist wie eine Blume, so hold und schön und rein.
Okay. So it's a little bit better, but it's not what I would do. I would give you yum bum 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 du bist, but you're not. But that's a little bit better than the one before. So that's very important in any song, that the tempo works for the prosody of the words. Otherwise, we get something that's very syllabic. No matter how good you are, it's going to get syllabic rather than having the sense of the phrase. Then you still are saying schön, as if the vowel were open, rather than schön.
Schön.
So would you say so halt, and then und schön? You're going to start with A.
Salt und schön.
Very good. The other way, you're giving me the vowel in a word like können,
Okay.
können, which is, it's not what this is. Okay? Because it has to be closed and long. That's very important. And you probably know this without knowing it consciously, that short vowels and long vowels really give us the color of the German language.
Oh, yes.
Right? So, I wish we had something that has a little more motion. You know what? Let's do it without the accompaniment once.
Okay.
And let's just, I'm going to give you a tempo, okay?
Okay.
I'll give you one measure of the tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Du bist wie eine Blume.
Okay, so you're still wedded to this old tempo, okay? I'm trying to get you to go, du bist wie eine Blume.
I can do that.
Good.
Du bist wie eine Blume, so hold und schön und
Good, good, good. Schön is very good now. Now you're in the ballpark. Okay? Now let's work on zu, halt. So you come down to a very open vowel on halt.
So halt und schön und rein.
Good, good. Don't be afraid of the R in und rein for singing. Otherwise, we hear und, and it could be anything. It could be hein, it could be rein, it could be pine, some other vowel. They all mean something. So we need. Don't be afraid of rolling the R. But what can you feel what you did on halt?
Yes, yes.
Can we do so halt?
So halt und schön und rein.
Good, good. Now, you've been making glottals in all the right places, mostly, but you just missed it there. So halt und. You can't say haltunt. Haltunt.
Yes.
All right? Otherwise, that gives us tunt, which I don't think is a word. Tunt. Thomas, is tunt a word? No, I didn't think so. Okay. So, Lisa, any questions so far?
No questions. All is
So
very clear. Thank you.
I'm not even talking about yet the interpretation of this song. I want it to be, first of all, I want it to be clear in terms of every vowel and every consonant, and every consonant should be vibrating on the breath. Don't be afraid of consonants. Many, many teachers tell people, oh, just sing on the vowel, everybody will be fine. I'll have very beautiful legato, and if you just sing on the vowel. We got no clarity there. You're not doing that. But there are people who do that. And so what happens is the German goes down the toilet. And that's not what you're doing. But I want you not to be afraid of the colors of the consonants. Sorry. Yes, Giacomo, come on. You want to come up? Is that what you want? You're right here. My dog wants to be involved in everything. Come on. Okay. So, can we now go on Ich schau dich an without the accompaniment? And here's the tempo. Ich schau dich an und Wehmut.
Ich schau dich an und Wehmut.
Now, good. The word Wehmut, I know you know that it's U, but you're not singing U. You're singing Wehmut rather than Wehmut. You really need to use your lips. Don't be afraid of your lips.
Ich schau dich an und Wehmut.
Oh, thank you. Vielen Dank, vielen Dank.
Schleicht mir ins Herz hinein.
So now in this phrase, I need to hear schleicht. Has anybody ever talked to you about using shadow vowels to make the consonants clear?
I've heard that before. Yes, I have. I've heard that.
Okay, so I know that Catherine LaBeouf does talk about that a lot, but you can do the same thing in German. So you're going to do schleicht. That's an exaggeration, but I want you to feel that. Schleicht.
Schleicht.
Right.
Schleicht.
So sing on the L. Actually sing on the L.
Schleicht.
Right. Go on, do the whole phrase.
Okay. Schleicht mir ins Herz hinein.
Okay, now, when you have these small intervals, schleicht mir ins Herz, one thing singers never pay enough attention to are half steps, both the intonation and the expressivity of the half step. Schleicht mir. Very, 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 very expressive half step. Do it again and really sing on the L. Sorry, let me grab him. Sorry. Giacomo, please don't do this.
Blair, I emailed you the music.
Sorry, he has to always usurp part of the picture. So, Lisa, would you sing once on Schleicht?
Schleicht.
Okay, are you aware, have you ever thought about this? The L in German, French, and Italian is different than our L in English. The tongue comes up in the back and is very forward to make the L much more forward than our shl. We would do can't even think of a word in English. SCH. Anyway, if I did it with an American accent, schleicht, you're not doing that, but you're in between. Rather than letting your tongue have schleicht.
Schleicht.
Go on. Okay, so let's try something. In order to get these half steps very expressive, would you sing this phrase without vibrato
Okay, yes.
as an exercise?
Okay. Schleicht mir ins Zimmer.
Okay, so are you aware that that's much clearer pitch-wise than what you did before?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I did notice it.
And Blair's recording this so you can listen to this, you can listen back to it.
Okay.
Okay, now, after working on that, the last vowel you sing is hinein, and you're singing hinein. It's almost like oin, rather than hinein, so that the ah really sits on your hard palate. Can you do one more time? Schleicht mir.
Schleicht mir ins hinein.
That's already better. You still have to work, when you're listening back, go back and work on the half step without vibrato.
Okay.
So you can, and even when you sing it, you can sing it without vibrato because it's a short note, the half step, but it will make the half step expressive. The way you were singing it before, it sounds like schleicht, and then mir sounds almost like schleicht.
Right.
Okay, let's go on. Mir ist. Okay, sorry, Lisa. You've got to give me a good I vowel with a glottal. Mir ist. Don't be afraid of making that stress.
Okay. Mir ist, als ob ich die Hände aufs Haupt dir legen sollt.
Because you're going back to the slower tempo, you're having to breathe.
That's right.
Rather than aufs Haupt dir legen soll.
Okay.
Let's do it without. We don't need to make all those breaths.
Okay.
And I guarantee you, if you will practice small intervals without vibrato, you're gonna listen back to. You're gonna say, "Oh my God, that's so much clearer," and I don't even know that there's no vibrato.
Okay.
One more time. Aufs Haupt.
Aufs Haupt dir legen sollt.
Okay, that's much better in terms of the line. Now, some of the vowels are not really German. They're coming out. You're giving me aufs Haupt, Haupt, Haupt. And that sounds like a dialect rather than Haupt, Haupt. And then dir must be very, very E, not der. Aufs Haupt dir legen sollt.
Okay.
Aufs Haupt dir legen sollt.
Aufs Haupt dir legen sollt.
So when you speak it, you do it much better than when you sing it.
Okay.
When you sing it, you get a little bit stuck in the space of your sound. One more time. Aufs Haupt.
Aufs Haupt dir legen sollt.
Good. Go on.
Betend, dass Gott dich erhalte.
Let's fix some of the characteristics of these vowels. Betend can be much more closed. Betend, dass Gott dich, and then erhalten. That's open. Erhalten, not erhalten or erhalten. One more time. Beaten. Don't be afraid of how closed that is.
Betend, dass Gott dich erhalte.
Yes, go on.
So,
Good.
so rein und schön und taut.
Okay, so good. Would you fix so? I want you to roll the R in rein. Otherwise, we don't understand what the initial consonant is. So would you do so rein und schön? And use the sh in the word schön to make it sound like what it means.
So rein und schön. No?
No, you're not really rolling the R.
Okay. So rein und schön und taut.
Okay, that last A flat, would you do once halt, halt.
Halt.
Now, bring your lips around halt. Halt.
Halt.
Right. So now the vowel is more focused outside of you and not getting caught in the space, because that's what was making it sound so closed and like hold, hold, hold. Okay, so after you work on all that, how would you describe the emotions in this song?
Well, Wehmut is melancholy and it's translated as sadness. So it starts out as adoration, but then it turns inward. The admiring is outward and then it turns inward because sadness and melancholy comes so much that the person wants to put their hand on this person's head and pray for them.
Say that one more time, the last thing.
It steals to melancholy so much that the person wants to put their hand on top of the person's head and pray for them. So this is very personal and special. So it's adoration that is turned inward.
Okay. To whom do you think the poet is addressing this song?
A loved one, someone he admires.
Admires is, I think, a little gentle for
someone he likes or is in love with or is infatuated with.
Okay. Could it also, do you think it could possibly be a child?
Oh, wow. Wow, that is wonderful. Yes, it really, yes.
It's possible that it's also a child that he's saying this to. If
I
he says,
agree.
du bist wie eine Blume, so hold und schön und rein. Ich schau dich an und Wehmut schleicht mir ins Herz hinein. Mir ist, als ob ich die Hände aufs Haupt dir legen sollt, betend, dass Gott dich erhalte, so rein und schön und hold. So it's possible because he's saying that God might keep you this way.
Right. So
So
it sounds like, yes, that's right.
it's certainly a possibility that it's a child, your child, obviously, your child that you're saying this to. And it actually, to me, this song has always felt like a man saying this. I'm not saying a woman can't say it, but there are so many songs that are female, so female. This song feels very male to me, that a man is saying this. So I want you to keep that in mind about what you're saying, so that it's not. Don't make this a sad song.
Okay.
And you were singing it before, and I think again because the piano's tempo was so slow that it sounds sad. Just because a slow song does not have to be sad. Just like a fast song doesn't have to be happy. A fast song could be dramatic and murderous, even if depending on what it is. But in this song, I would be sure not to get sad. You see the word Wehmut, and I think you're thinking sad.
Yes, yes. But I
Any,
understand what you're saying.
yeah, and I do think that if you sang it as, let's say, a mother, saying this to her child, I don't know why those words just conjure up a father to me. I'm not saying a woman couldn't say it, but it just seems to feel paternal to me. Thomas, what do you think about that? About what I just said? You have to unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. Is that the first time you're seeing this song?
Yes.
Does
And I
it,
think it sounds logical what you're saying. Like I like the idea
that
of a
it could be
father.
uh-huh. Was there anything else, since it's your first time with the poem? Thomas is not a professional musician. He knows music, but he's not a professional. But is there anything else in that song that comes to you as you heard it about the poem?
I'm afraid nothing in particular, no.
Okay. So, Lisa, let's do it one more time. And now it's apparent, and the whole song is positive. Don't focus on this is not Kindertotenlieder of Mahler. You know that cycle?
I sure do, yes.
And this is not about dead babies. So let's do it one more time. And you're going to forget the accompaniment. They're both too slow.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Du bist wie eine Blume.
Okay. So I feel like you're really, really wedded to this song being slow. And I'm trying to get you to sing.
Okay.
Du bist wie eine Blume.
All right, I've got it.
And you don't have to take that breath.
Okay.
That's what I call a chicken breath. You're being chicken to take that breath when you can just keep going.
Okay.
And I want you I want you to calm down the vibrato,
Okay.
almost singing it straight.
Oh, yes, I can do that. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Du bist wie eine Blume, zart und schön und rein. Ich schau dich an und Wehmut schleicht mir ins Herz hinein. Mir ist, als ob ich die Hände aufs Haupt dir legen sollt. Betend, dass Gott dich erhalte, so rein und schön und hold.
Okay, so that tempo is so much better already, so much better, and it doesn't sound like a funeral song, which is the way you first sang it, as if you were singing a funeral song. And you're doing some of the you have to still work on the R's and work on your ah vowel, so you don't sing oh, oh. So rein und schön und hold. Ich schau dich an, not ich schau dich on. That sounds like you grew up on Long Island. You didn't grow up on Long Island, did you? No?
I grew
Okay.
up in Brooklyn.
Oh, that's where it comes from. Okay. You grew up in Brooklyn. That's it. That's what did it. So if you do ich schau dich on, like, oh, you know, Sammy took me to the pizzeria and he didn't want to buy me anything really good. He just wanted to buy me just one little slice of pizza, and that's all. That's the kind of, that accent, I'm not saying you have that accent, but that's coming into your ah vowel rather than the ah, always being brilliant and never falling into Okay? Otherwise, you're still like the Godfather. Okay? And you're not Italian. I am. Lisa, any questions so far about anything I'm saying?
I understood everything you said and can apply everything you said. Thank you.
Great. Great. Let me just check what Blair wrote me in the chat. Blair's writing to me in the chat. The singers are all falling apart. We have Samantha after that, and then Jose. I haven't heard from Julia and don't know. Melissa like Grace has canceled. Marissa has canceled. God, people canceling. Wow. Okay, and I'm supposed to stop in 5 minutes, which is now, from when Blair wrote that. So, if you have any questions, Lisa, or anything you want me to elaborate on?
No, everything you said it so clearly. I really understood it and will apply it afterwards, after today as well.
And please listen back to the recording.
Okay.
Because listening to the recording, some things are going to, I call that, there was a woman in my recit class quite a long time ago, and her name was Paulina, and she was Czech. And I was saying, I worked on a recit with her. She was a mezzo. And she kept thinking that she was doing what I was asking. And she wasn't doing anything of what I was asking. Not because she didn't want to, but because she thought. She was making tiny, minute changes. So the next week, I said to her, Paulina, do you have any thoughts about last week's work? She said, oh my God, I listened to what we did, I wasn't doing anything that you were telling me. And now I'm so depressed. I said, no, you should be happy because at least you realized what you weren't doing and you're going to change it. She said, but I didn't do anything you asked me, even though I thought I was. So a lot of times we need that mirror of a recording to hit us in the face and say, girl, that's not what you're doing, even though you think you're doing it. Right?
Right.
Okay, so I'll be curious what you think when you listen to the recording.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you, Lisa. Great job today. Yes, you're getting claps from everyone. So thank you. Yes, for our audience, I'm so sorry. It seems like we've had not one, not two, but three singers fall ill. But fortunately, we do have someone who is ready to sing today. In addition to Samantha, who's going to sing, we'll also have now a baritone, Jose. And let's see, Jose, sadly, I just can't find your last name in front of me. But Jose will...
Maldonado.
Yes, he will be singing. So we do have three good singers today, Lisa being one of them. Wonderful job, Lisa. And so now we will move on to Samantha, who will be singing today. Schumann for us.
And I just want to say that I saw Jose's face there. Jose was my student, and he did Don Alfonso with me in Così fan tutte at Manhattan, and he was fantastic.
Oh, well, we look forward to hearing him this afternoon. So thank you.
Right. So he was,
today.
And I'm so glad. I wrote him and I said, do you have anything to sing since we're missing people? So I have no idea what he chose. He had written An die Musik. I hope he chose something more complicated than An die Musik, but we'll see.
Okay.
So this is Samantha.
Hello, hi.
Hi, let me just look at you. Hi.
How are you?
There you are. Okay. There you.
Frozen a little bit, but are you able to see me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Very well. With that beautiful face. Oh my God. Look at that smile. Look at her smile. Oh.
Thank you. My name is Samantha Burke, and I'm happy to sing for you today in the Fremde from Schumann's Liederkreis, from his Opus 39 Liederkreis. I suppose I'd start with the text, if that's all right?
Yes, please.
Okay. So in German says, aus der Heimat hinter den Blitzen rot, da kommen die Wolken her, aber Vater und Mutter sind lange tot. Es kennt mich dort keiner mehr. Wie bald kommt die stille Zeit, da ruhe ich auch, und über mir rauscht die schöne Waldeinsamkeit. Kein kennt mich mehr her.
Okay.
The sound is not very clear.
It sounds clear. There are some things I want to talk about. How much German have you studied?
Diction, I've sung German for a while. I have some background with it.
Okay, and is your native language English?
No, it's Spanish.
Ah, that's your first language.
Spanish is my first language, yes.
Okay, because I heard a little bit of an accent and I wasn't sure in which direction. Okay, so I'm going to read. I don't have it in front of me, but I think I remember it. I'm going to read the phrases. I want you to pay attention, and you're going to repeat them. Pay attention to long and short vowels, and also intonation of where I'm going with the phrase, and also which words are highlighted. Sometimes you're highlighting words that aren't as important as others.
Okay.
So I'll say a phrase, you're going to say it after me.
Okay.
Aus der Heimat.
Aus der Heimat.
Hinter den Blitzen rot.
Hinter den Blitzen rot.
So now, final R's are always problematic in German because the old way of doing them was to flip them or roll them.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing. On unimportant words, I would not do that. Like der. I would do what's, is a schwa R. Hinter, same thing with hinter den Blitzen rot. Hinter den Blitzen rot.
So, hinter den Blitzen rot.
And that's a long vowel. Rot.
Rot.
Right. If it's followed by one consonant, it's probably long.
Yes.
Da kommen die Wolken her.
Da kommen die Wolken her.
Now, again, the color of the open O in the word Wolken, similar to what I said to Lisa, you're relating it to our American O vowel. Listen to how open it is. Da kommen die Wolken her.
I see. Da kommen die Wolken her.
Here.
Here.
Right. Very closed.
Mm-hmm.
Aber Vater, long vowel. Aber Vater und Mutter. So Vater is a long vowel, Mutter is a short vowel. Aber Vater und Mutter sind lange tot.
I see. Aber Vater und Mutter sind lange tot.
Es kennt mich dort keiner mehr.
Es kennt mich dort keiner mehr.
Mehr. Right, very closed and very long.
I see.
Wie bald. Ach, wie bald.
Wie bald. Ach, wie bald.
Kommt die stille Zeit.
Kommt die stille Zeit.
Da ruhe ich auch.
Da ruhe ich auch.
Yes. Und über mir rauscht die schöne Waldeinsamkeit.
Und über mir rauscht die schöne Waldeinsamkeit.
Die schöne Waldeinsamkeit.
Die schöne Waldeinsamkeit.
That vowel, Samantha. Schöne.
Schöne. Even more close?
Yep. Even more lippy.
Schöne. Sorry?
Even more lippy than you were doing.
Okay. Die schöne.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Die schöne Waldeinsamkeit. Und keiner kennt mich mehr hier.
Und keiner kennt. Sorry, do you flip the end of keiner or
Nope.
no? All right.
Nope. Und keiner kennt mich mehr hier.
Und keiner kennt mich mehr her.
Here. A long vowel.
Mehr here.
So can you feel how you have now changed into giving us long and short vowels, which you didn't before?
Yes, I do. It's more dramatic, the change.
You mean in you?
Yes, I feel how I feel where the vowels, when I pronounce the vowels, I feel them more dramatically different, long versus short, rather than one homogeneous sound.
Right, because in Spanish, the vowels are long and you only have 5.
Yeah.
You only have 5 vowels. German has Actually, I've never counted them. Wow.
Too many.
So many, many more. I've never counted how many there are, but there are many more than in Spanish.
Yes.
So, any questions, Samantha, so far?
Not at this time, but I'm sure I'll have some once I sing. Would you like me to read the English translation?
I would love for everybody to be able to hear the English translation, yes.
All right. From my homeland beyond the red lightning, the clouds come drifting in. But father and mother have long been dead. Now no one knows me there. How soon till that quiet time when I too shall rest, beneath the sweet murmur of lonely woods, forgotten here as well.
So, I'll add, that's very good, the way you read that, with great understanding. What made you choose this song?
I was actually given this song back in 2015 by a teacher of mine for a concert series she hosts in Atlanta. And I fell in love not with this first song, but the intermezzo after it. And so I'm now planning my master's recital. And so when I came back to this cycle that I'll be presenting, I found the first song to be more interesting because how unrelenting the motion of the piano is. And then I think now I'm a little older, so I can understand the text a little bit better. And I'm not at home. And I found during COVID time, this song keeps reminiscing in my memory. So it means quite a lot to me now because I'm not at home at this time right now. And I am in New Jersey, and I feel I've lived here, but I don't feel that I am here. So I think it resonated with me on an emotional level. So I really do love it now.
Great. That's a great metaphor that you're making between not being home. Where is home?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Uh-huh. And that's where you grew up?
Yeah, I grew up in Venezuela and I grew up in Atlanta. And so all my family is there. My kids are there. Everybody is there. So I will go home soon.
A little homesick.
Yes, very.
Do you know the word in German for homesick?
No. What is it?
Heimweh.
Heimweh?
Weh. Uh-huh.
Heimweh.
Heimweh. And again, that V is a very long vowel.
Heimweh. The Germans seem to really pronounce their text in the way, like a onomatopoeic kind of way, how it feels. Like
well,
that.
Every language has that. It's just that in German, you have to remember, very different from Spanish, is that German is, the color in German is also based on the consonants, which many, many people try to sing what they call legato, and they forget that the consonants are part of the legato in German.
Yes.
So, Thomas, would you feel comfortable reading that poem?
Yes, I can do that.
Do you have it right there in front of you?
Yes, give me a second.
So I want you to and read it slowly, okay? But this is his first language. English is his second, and it'll be interesting because I'm sure it's a poem he's never seen. So see what you get from his reading of it.
Okay. In der Fremde. Aus der Heimat hinter den Blitzen rot. Da kommen die Wolken her. Aber Vater und Mutter sind lange tot. Es kennt mich dort keiner mehr. Wie bald, ach wie bald kommt die stille Zeit. Da ruhe ich auch und über mir rauscht die schöne Waldeinsamkeit. Und keiner kennt mich mehr hier.
So Thomas, would you do it one more time, about half that tempo?
Okay, okay.
And just take your time. But again, giving her the pictures of what you're saying.
Aus der Heimat hinter den Blitzen rot. Da kommen die Wolken her. Aber Vater und Mutter sind lange tot. Es kennt mich dort keiner mehr. Wie bald, ach wie bald kommt die stille Zeit. Da ruhe ich auch. Und über mir rauscht die schöne Waldeinsamkeit. Und keiner kennt mich mehr hier.
So Samantha,
Sam is fine.
do you like Sam? Do you like that also?
Yeah, that's fine.
What did you get from Thomas's reading that was different?
The rhythm in which he read the text, I think both times, but significantly more the second time, I could really sense more how the phrase works. And it works, I understood it in one way for the music, and now I understand it a bit, a different way. I feel like the rhythm and the phrasing in which he gave me clarifies what I see on the page more. It's very interesting to hear the open and close vowels in his voice because, like you said, it has different tones. And I think Schumann does a wonderful job at bringing those tones out, the natural tones of the speech. Now that I'm thinking of the music, like in the actual notes that he does provide. So I think I have to really pay a lot of attention more to that.
Did you also hear the colors of the words as he said them? For instance, he did something that I never thought about. He did aus der Heimat hinter dem Blitzen rot, da kommen die Wolken her.
Right. I heard that.
And he highlighted da. And I think that's because of what you've said before, because it means there. Da
Right.
kommen die Wolken her. So anything else that you noticed?
I noticed where some of the even within the closed and open vowels, they all each have a different level of open and closedness. I don't know if that makes sense. And secondly, that the speech, the tempo of the speech changed to go towards what was the more important word or the more important adjective of that to describe that word. So yes,
you're a very smart lady. You're very observant, and you're really taking it in. I can tell. And there's not everybody gets it the way you're getting it. That's terrific. It's the same thing that would happen if you read a Spanish text to someone who's singing in Spanish, but hasn't grown up with the language.
Right. It's completely different.
Yes, exactly. And sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say now I have to try to do it.
No, you will. Just let's just see what evolves. Okay, this is not your Carnegie Hall debut. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Do you have an accompaniment there?
Yes, I do. Do you want to see now if it's in good volume or not?
Okay.
I'll begin, and if it's not yours, I assume you'll stop me. Oh, sorry. Aus der Heimat hinter dem Blitzenrot, da kommen die Wolken her. Aber Vater und Mutter sind lange tot, es kennt mich dort keiner mehr. Wie bald kommt die stille Zeit, da ruh ich auf, da ruh ich auf, und immer mehr rauscht die schöne Waldeinsamkeit, die schöne Waldeinsamkeit, und keiner kennt mich mehr her, und keiner kennt mich mehr her. Thank you.
Very good, Samantha. So I have to say, I'm quite astonished that a person whose native language is Spanish would have such wonderful consonants in German, because of the quality of the Spanish consonants are very liquid and very gentle and never as Germanic as you're doing. So
Yeah.
I don't know who taught you how to do that, but
My teacher, she's gotten on me a lot. She sings a lot of German repertoire, so she's really, put it in my mental to remember.
well, you can tell her, thank her for me
I will.
that she gave you that. Who is your teacher? Maybe I know her.
Her name is Amy Shormount Obra.
Of course, Amy was my student.
You know Amy? Yes, she went to Manhattan. That's true.
Yes, and she sang the Queen of the Night with me when I conducted Magic Flute.
Wow.
She
Full
sang
circle.
oh my God. Oh, wow. Okay, yes. So you can tell Amy, thank you.
I will.
Thank
you.
Because she did both. Sorry, she didn't just do the Queen of the Night. She also did Frasquita in Carmen. So she did 2 operas with me at Manhattan School.
Wow.
And she's singing much bigger repertoire now.
Oh yes. She's singing Turandot and some other things.
I'm sure she can handle that, having sung the Queen.
Yes.
I'm sure. And I remember when I gave her the part, she said, "I can't do this. I can't sing the Queen of the Night." I said, "Yes, you can." I think she was probably 22, 23. And I said, "I know you can. You work on it, take it to your teacher, and I guarantee you can work on it." And of course, she covered it at the Met.
Yes. Yes. She's made quite a great career for herself, I think.
Right. And because I pushed her and I said, "You must work on this because you can do it."
Thank you. Well, thank you.
You can thank her for the clarity of your German. I would never, usually with Spanish-speaking people, you have to really, really encourage them to overdo the consonants. So you're doing that quite well.
Thank you.
Now, there are a couple of things I want to say. You really identify with this poem. I can feel that very deeply, that you really get this. I'm not wild about the tempo. I think it's a little bit too fast, and that's the pianist that's doing it. It just needs to relax a little bit, just the slightest bit. And unfortunately, you have to sing one phrase in one breath, which is und über mir rauscht die schöne Waldeinsamkeit. You can't breathe between schöne and Waldeinsamkeit because schöne modifies Waldeinsamkeit. It's one phrase. So you have to experiment to try to do that in one breath and not spend all your breath at the beginning.
Yes.
I think, I don't know your voice except this, but I think you can do this.
Yes, I can.
Okay? So let's slow it down just one little bit and do it without the accompaniment.
Oh, okay. I have a slower accompaniment if you would like, but I can.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Would you like me to sing the entire thing again or just that phrase?
I would like you to sing the entire thing again. And have you ever played charades?
No. Yes, yes, I have.
You have.
Yes.
So you're going to charade the meaning of every word as you sing it. So it's not an easy exercise to do, but if you did aus der Heimat, it's very hard to do Heimat. Hinter den
Blitzenrot. I don't know red.
I don't have anything red here. Okay, I'll go to Grace's dress. Grace has a red dress. You can point to Grace's dress. Blitzenrot. Da kommen die Wolken her.
Okay. So I'll sing as well while moving.
Yeah, and don't try to be perfect. Whatever comes out in terms of the charade.
All right.
But there's a reason for doing this, and I want you to, maybe some of you will understand the reason behind my craziness. And maybe Samantha will also. So let's do this slower accompaniment.
Okay. Aus der Heimat hinter den Blitzenrot, da kommen die Wolken her. Aber Vater und Mutter sind lange tot, es kennt mich dort keiner mehr. Wie bald, ach wie bald kommt die stille Zeit, da ruh ich auf, da ruh ich auf, und über mir rauscht die Einsamkeit, die schöne Waldeinsamkeit. Und keiner kennt mich mehr her. Und keiner kennt mich mehr her. Oops.
Okay. So that's a good start to the charading. The charading is, as an exercise, needs to be more specific, but we're not going to do that right now because I want to talk about some other things. But what do you think the charading does?
I think it gives me more of a picture. Exactly, every single word has like
Absolutely.
meaning and beauty.
Absolutely. So that you have to know the meaning of every word, which you do, I'm pretty sure, and the color of every word has to come out. Because, if you say, if you were to say, in Spanish, if you were to say, let me give you, guarda una, guardo l'ai, guarda un'ai, guarda una pena mi pecho, guarda una pena mi pecho, right? Every word you would feel, and you would show
Right.
the color as you say the word. So you have to do that consciously in German as well. Just like when Thomas read it, you saw the pictures very well as he said it, because he can't possibly say Waldeinsamkeit without feeling what that means.
Yes.
So when we get to that phrase, and I think in general, you need to sing this song less loud and just it's marked piano. Am I correct?
Yes, piano and then pianissimo and then back piano.
Right. So you do not need to sing this full voice nor operatically. In fact, most singers of your generation tend to sing songs operatically rather than understand that there's a way to sing opera and there's a way to sing a song. And because this song has a very light and rippling accompaniment, you don't need to sing full voice ever, which would probably help you when you get to that long phrase, if you take the breath for what the phrase demands. So if you have to sing, und über mir rauscht die schöne Waldeinsamkeit. It's hard.
I will do
But
it. I will.
you must work on that.
I will.
Let's do that phrase. Just breathe for what the phrase demands.
Dice, sí.
Und
I'll try it again.
okay. So, have you worked on this kind of thing with Amy? How to sing long phrases and conserve the breath without holding it, but still be able to sing the long phrase and not have to breathe in the middle of it. This is a famous phrase that if you were to sing this in a competition, every judge, hopefully who knows it, would be waiting for that phrase to be sure that you're comfortable singing the phrase in one breath.
I see.
One more time. Und.
Casi.
Okay. So that's something that you and she should work on. The length of your breath, of how to sing that long a phrase, which I know is long. I realize it's a very long phrase, but you have to conquer that by not spending the breath right away.
Yes.
And definitely understanding how in your own body to sing a long phrase. So when you think of women who can spin long phrases, who comes to mind?
Montserrat Caballé.
For sure, for sure.
Long, long phrases.
And she can do that as if she has a tank on her back of pumping air into her body, for sure. Who else?
I think of my teacher. I think of Callas. I think of Leontine Price. Just these like incredible long lines, and especially in that part of the voice is really really telling and really hard.
Okay, so there's one other person I want you to listen to, and that's Jessie Norman singing the four last songs. Okay? Because your voice would sing the four last songs beautifully. Listen to Jessie spin those phrases. Those are big, 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 long phrases in the four last songs of Strauss. And she can do that as like nobody's business, never having to catch a breath ever. So that's something to everybody has to work on that, but especially women, because people like Strauss wrote these long phrases for women, and that's important to be able to do that if you're going to sing that repertoire.
Yes.
All the other women you mentioned, great, I agree with you, but definitely listen. You mentioned right away Caballé, that's for sure, and definitely Jessie.
Jessie Norman, yes.
Yeah. But especially in that particular, those songs, those four songs, I don't think anyone has ever sung them more beautifully nor more touchingly as she does.
I will listen to them. I think I will listen. Sorry, my neighbors. I will listen to them. I think I've heard it before, so I have some reference point, but I will listen with different ears, I think, and see what I can gather. How how does she do it? This is a good thing to explore. And I have one question. I do actually have a question. So in the word schöner, that word, I find the U umlaut, if I'm staying on one idea, right, with my vowels in one place, I find that U umlaut does change my placement and I lose some of the direction of my air.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Let's talk about that vowel for the moment. That's what's called a mixed vowel. It has the tongue position of one vowel and the lip position of another. Do you know what those two are in that particular vowel?
I think it's the tongue position of the E and the lip position of the U. Is that
No, you're doing the U umlaut.
Oh, sorry. This is the U in the tongue and no, help me out. I know it's U in the tongue and O in the lips, or U in the lips, something like that. Y in the lips, something like that.
Okay, so for this vowel, the O umlaut, when it's closed, is the tongue position of closed A. So you're going to bring your lips around A into closed O. But now you're going to U. You're going to U. So that's U umlaut.
My head is in a completely different place. Sorry.
Okay, so let's do it up in your tessitura. I can't do it up in your tessitura, but I'll do it in mine. That's very good.
Okay.
All you have to focus on is the tongue position of E to keep the resonance where you want it.
Okay.
But you then do need your lip position of closed O. This vowel exists in French also.
Yes.
Okay? In a word like je peux, je peux, je peux. Or Yeah, or un peu.
Un peu.
Same vowel.
Un peu. Okay.
So
Je.
does that help you?
That helps a lot. I think if I maintain the tongue in the same position and don't change the tongue when I go from the SH to the O umlaut, if I can prepare the tongue a little sooner, that I think that'll help.
Right.
Oh,
Let's do this song again. Blair, do I have time to keep going or not?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. So, Sam, could we start it again? I want you to try to give us as not as much dynamic as you were doing. Just stay with a quiet dynamic. You don't need this to be loud.
all right. Aus der Heimat hinter den Blitzen rot, da kommen die Wolken her. Aber Vater und Mutter sind lange tot, es kennt mich dort keiner mehr. Wie bald, auch wie bald, kommt die stille Zeit, da die schöne Waldeinsamkeit und keiner kennt mich mehr und keiner kennt mich mehr.
Okay, good. So, Sam, what I know everybody's everybody's aware that what's happening is you're playing catch up with the accompaniment. Because that's okay. Everybody has to do that on when you're doing a pre-recorded thing. You're not sure. All of a sudden, the beat seems to change. That happens. I don't think that would happen if I were there playing it live with you, for sure.
Yeah.
So that it feels there's a fine line between not singing loud and holding it. So that may be what's happening. I'm not sure. I don't know your evolution in terms of your singing, but you have to work on that with her. That phrase, that und über mir rauscht die schöne Waldeinsamkeit. That's important to work on. That's a phrase that could teach you a lot when you finally are able to do it in one breath.
I agree.
But your voice is so delicious, and you seem to really, really love this poem and put it across. And I would not take that away from you. But I think these other things that we've talked about can enhance your performance.
Yes, I will agree a lot. I'm very happy I was able to sing it today also. I'm very happy that I was able to sing it today, to have some of those things brought in. Now I think I'm ready to start tackling definitely the line and finding a way to sing piano in the color, which it needs to be, but on the breath, really, really supported. And then again, that very long line. There's a lot. I almost think about it from the very beginning, and then and frame the rest of the piece according to that, if that makes any sense.
Right. So I would isolate that phrase and really work on it so that you can do it in one breath, and then put it with the other phrases before it and after it. But first isolate it so you're comfortable singing it in one breath, because that's really a must.
Okay.
In terms of that not separating Schöne and Waldeinsamkeit.
Yes.
Sam, any questions you want to ask me?
No, but I thank you so much for like bringing in a lot to think about, a lot more to think about with this piece. I think that that clarity I can take into the other songs that I'm singing for this, with the different closed and open vowels and the
Right.
line.
Again, you started out in a very good place. Where you started with the very first time is a very good place. But I'm just highlighting, I think, what can make it even better.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I
You are
appreciate that.
welcome.
Actually,
You are welcome.
thank you so much.
Blair, shall we take a 5-minute break?
Yes, I will. Why don't you take a break, Tom, and I can continue speaking, and then you feel free to join, and we'll have you back for the final singer.
Okay.
Okay. So again, everyone, I thank you for participating in today's masterclass, particularly the singers. And I am sorry for the last-minute singers who had to drop off due to illness. As we know, we're dealing with a pandemic, so we just hope it's nothing more serious than a common cold or a seasonal flu that they're dealing with. In this, while we're waiting for Tom to come back, I thought I would share another clip with you of Tom Muraco. And this is from an interview I did with him for public radio. And you'll hear him introduce another singer. So I'll do that now for you. Let's see, Tom, I think next on our list is Strauss. Rosenbach. Okay, with Ben Heppner. Can you talk a bit about your collaboration with Ben?
Well, Ben is a spectacular operatic tenor, but he's also really quite an incredible recital singer. This recording is taken from a performance in Berlin at the Philharmonie, and where we did variety of repertoire, but of course the Germans were especially turned on to the Schubert and Strauss we did. Ben is a really superb musician, singer, linguist, and also as a colleague. Traveling with him is such a pleasure, and also on stage he never plays the divo that so many other singers might.
Da band ich sie mit Ruhe.
Yes, that was beautiful. So it looks like we have the maestro back, and so we can continue on.
What did I miss?
We played you and Ben Heppner,
Doing what?
the Das Rosenband Strauss.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
I don't know if there's anything you want to say about that before we move on to Jose,
Um,
or your time with Ben Heppner, the great operatic tenor.
you know, Ben was one of the most wonderful people to partner because he really appreciated the person at the keyboard. He played the piano. He plays the piano very well, and he's a very facile musician. So he appreciated what I did, and it made me feel appreciated. Not everybody does that, with not every singer appreciates the person that's at the keyboard, and he was not afraid to demonstrate that both on stage and off stage.
Wonderful.
And again, he actually one time it was at La Scala where I think after a bunch of encores, he came over and played honky tonk and sang. I moved away and he sat down and played honky tonk, and he could just bang the hell out of the piano in playing honky tonk. I would have thought it was I don't know who the most famous honky tonk pianist was, but Ben could rival that. And he has huge hands, so he could just really, really whack away at it.
That's fantastic.
Anyway, and the audience loved it. The audience just loved it.
So, Jose, are you ready?
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Jose, because I had no idea he was going to be here today, and there he shows up, and I saw his wonderful face. I met Jose when he was a student at Manhattan School, and chose him. I had seen him on stage in a comedy, and what was it, Jose?
The Tigona Baron.
Right, Tigona Baron. Right, and so I chose him in the auditions to sing Don Alfonso in Così fan tutte, and Jose is afraid of nothing. If you ask him to do a cartwheel on the stage, he would probably do it. He would figure out how to do it and make it work. And so he was so engaging as Alfonso in every way, in many, many different aspects of the character. So that's how I met him and got to appreciate his talent. So I've never heard him sing a German Lied, so I have no idea what I don't even know what he's offering. You said An die Musik, or did you choose something else?
I did say An die Musik, and then I heard what you said earlier. So if we get to An die Musik, I also have Fußreise, which I need to relearn, and I can't. And I have it.
Sorry, Jose, could you move in? I don't hear you.
Sorry, I have it.
Oh.
So I do have An die Musik, but I also have, just in case we get through, I have Fußreise, which I need to re-bring back from 10 years ago, which I'd be, Fußreise by Hugo Wolf as well.
Right. Do you know that well, or do you feel that you would be reviving something that you haven't really put back into yourself?
Well, I study this whole time right now. I mean, if I have my cheat sheet, but I think I can get through it for sure.
But you would prefer to do An die Musik.
Now I'm 50-50 because so when they were singing the Schumann in der Fremde, that was the art song that made me go from becoming a business major to a voice major. So it took me back, and then my second lead was Fußreise. So I kind of got inspired a little bit, and I pulled it up. I'm house sitting, my aunt's house, so I don't know what she had, but I figured out I didn't know how to work the printer, so I kind of just set up. It was my weekend off, but now I'm happy to be here.
And where are you?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, you're in Los Angeles. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so I'm going to let you choose. But do you have translations for both of them?
I've sent everything to Blair in his private message. I think I can share it to everyone too as well, right?
Yeah, but I would rather you read it.
Well, I can read it as well, yes.
I would rather you read the text in English first.
Okay, absolutely. I have to pick. So the reason I actually picked Andi Music first was because I was teaching it to students and I just wanted a different perspective. But now I'm torn between like I said, I was inspired. So maybe I'll pick Fußreise.
You know, do me a favor, pick Andi Music. The reason is, from what you just said, that you were teaching it to students. Sorry.
Bless you.
And you wanted a different perspective. Let's
Okay.
see what happens. Let's see what happens, because that's probably fresher in your brain.
Definitely. Okay, then let me pull I'm doing screen switching. Here we go. Oy.
Julia, don't leave, okay? So you and I can exchange info. Julia and I, for those of you who didn't hear at the beginning, Julia and I went to school back in 1900 together at Eastman. And so I couldn't believe when she told me that she was there, and told me she used her maiden name, which I had not known. I didn't know her married name. So anyway, I want to be sure we exchange information. Jose, are you there?
Yeah, Master, I have too many, I'm still trying to figure out how to, okay, here we go. All right. I'll move the microphone when I sing, but I'll have this for now.
Yeah, you'll keep it here until you start to sing.
Okay.
Then you can move it when you sing.
It's a little frozen. I'm sorry about that. Oh, let me.
Hola.
I appreciate your patience. 1 second. I finally figured it out.
You're going to have to, when you're speaking it, you're going to have to bring the mic in front of you when you're speaking. So I would like you to read the text. So that means you're going to speak it.
Okay, okay. All right. So Andi Music it's an ode to music, and can you see me? Sorry. It says, how often, beloved art, in how many dark hours or gray hours, when I am enmeshed in life's tumultuous round, have you kindled my heart to the warmth of love and borne me away to a better world. Often a sigh, escaping from your harp, a sweet celestial chord, has revealed to me a heaven of happier times. Beloved art, for this I thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to get another translation. Not that that's not correct, but I want to give you another perspective. Hold on 1 second, right here. And this is a prose translation, so it's not quite so poetic. So let me read this, and think about what seems different to you. Okay. So, thou lovely art, how often in dark hours, when life's wild tumult wraps me around, have you kindled my heart to loving warmth and transported me to a better world. Often a sigh escaping from your harp, a touch of heavenly sweet harmony has opened up a paradise for me. Thou lovely art, I thank you for this gift. So, Jose, what does that bring up for you in hearing that translation?
More soul, more human touch, definitely. More connection, more line. You could hear the breathing kind of in that language rather than bleak hour and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so
more musical, I think.
So now, would you read it in German? And take your time. So Thomas is sitting there. He's never heard this text. So you have to convince him of what it is in German. Take your time.
Okay.
Take your time.
Du holde Kunst, in wie viel grauen Stunden, wo mich des Lebens wilder Kreis umstrickt, hast du mein Herz zu warme Lieb entzünden, hast mich in eine bessere Welt entrückt. Oft hat ein Seufzer deiner Harf entflossen, ein süßer, heiliger Akkord von dir, den Himmel bessere Zeiten mir erschlossen. Du holde Kunst, ich danke dir dafür.
So, you're still in your German, somewhere between English and Spanish. You haven't yet converted over to a German speech pattern. So, Thomas, do you have the text right there? You have to look it up.
If it's part of the program, I have it. Otherwise, not.
No, it's not part of the program.
Okay.
This is An die Musik of Schubert. If you could find the text on the internet. So I want you to hear this, Jose, and listen to what sounds different in terms of, for instance, are you good at doing a Spanish accent in English?
Am I good at doing a Spanish accent?
In other words, do you have relatives who have a thick accent?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Can you imitate them and you feel the difference in your speech if you speak English with a Spanish accent?
Beloved art, in how many oblique hour?
No, I wasn't asking you to do that now. No, I just meant I just wanted to know if that was possible. But Thomas, did you find it?
Yes, I found it.
Sent in the chat too.
Yeah, thank you. I saw that. I mean, okay, I went to Oxford, dear. I guess it's identical. I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Thomas, go sehr, sehr langsam.
I'll try my best. Du holde Kunst, in wie viel grauen Stunden, wo mich des Lebens wilder Kreis umstrickt, hast du mein Herz zu warmer Lieb entzünden, hast mich in eine bessere Welt entrückt. Oft hat ein Seufzer deiner Harf entflossen, ein süßer, heiliger Akkord von dir, den Himmel besserer Zeiten mir erschlossen. Du holde Kunst, ich danke dir dafür.
So Jose, what hit you when he read it?
It's not as Latin as I thought.
What? Say again.
Not as Latin as I thought. It's more it's less hilly than I did it. Less.
Okay. Now remember, he's not a singer like you. Like you've been trained, he hasn't been trained the same
Right.
way. So that may be part of it. But
But it's kind of, it reminds me of French a little bit, in the sense that it's a line without, for example, in Spanish it would be arte hermoso en tantos tiempos de, something like, it doesn't have those, I know it's not music, but tenuto situations kind of, but it's clear, it's very clear, and it's more smoother, I think, it's smoother with the language and with the consonants, and the consonants kind of, the way he did it is they sew through to connect all the vowels.
okay, so now I'm going to give you another perspective on it. I'm going to read it to you. Okay? And again, tell me the differences.
Okay.
Du holde Kunst, in wie viel grauen Stunden, wo mich des Lebens wilde Kreis umstrickt, hast du mein Herz zu warme Lieb entzünden, hast mich in eine bessere Welt entrückt. Oft hat ein Seufzer deine Harf entflossen, ein süßer, heiliger Akkord von dir, den Himmel bessere Zeiten mir erschlossen. Du holde Kunst, ich danke dir dafür. Tell me what comes out. What's different to you?
I felt like there was emphasis on pronouns and vowels.
I can't hear you. You gotta put
There was
the mic
emphasis
up.
on pronouns and verbs, or description. It was very descriptive. I feel like it really paints a picture the way you said it. Yeah.
Okay. So now, would you read it one more time, and I'm going to stop you.
Okay.
Take your time.
Du holde Kunst.
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 As in cookie. The same vowel as in cookie. I know you like cookies.
I do. Du holde Kunst. In wie viel grauen Stunden?
And then I would stress, in wie viel grauen Stunden.
Okay. In wie viel grauen Stunden, wo mich des Lebens wilder Kreis umstrickt.
Okay, and the A vowel on Leben can go much farther than in Italian. Wo mich des Lebens wilder Kreis umstrickt.
Wo mich des Lebens wilder Kreis umstrickt.
Now the first word, wo. It's more closed than in Italian.
Okay. Wo mich des Lebens wilder Kreis umstrickt.
Now, the consonant, the ich laut, wo mich, do not be afraid to vibrate on that.
Wo mich.
Right.
Wo mich des Lebens wilder Kreis umstrickt. Hast du mein Herz zu warme Lieb entzünden? Hast mich in eine bessere Welt entrückt?
Good. Much. So, can you feel the difference?
Yeah.
How
I don't
would
know.
you-
I'm still trying to figure it in my brain, but I think I feel it in my sensation.
You feel it in your what?
I feel the sensation, I feel the groove. I feel the
Okay.
groove. Oft hat ein Seufzer deine Harfe entflossen.
So now oft means often. So oft hat ein Seufzer. So that I would bring it out a little bit. Oft hat ein Seufzer.
Oft hat ein Seufzer deine Harfe entflossen. Ein süßer, heiliger Akkord von dir.
Akkord.
Akkord.
Right.
Ein süßer, heiliger Akkord von dir, den Himmel bessere Zeiten mir erschlossen.
Be sure that we get in TS, Zeiten.
Okay. Den Himmel bessere Zeiten mir erschlossen.
Okay, watch out for your L's. Your L's are getting a little bit Russian or English rather than oft hat deine Haft entschlossen. Ein süßer, heiliger, heilig. They're always high, those L's.
Heiliger,
The
heiliger.
back of your tongue has to come up.
Ein süßer, heiliger Akkord von dir.
Akkord.
Akkord von dir. Akkord von dir. Den Himmel bessere Zeiten mir erschlossen.
Watch out. In the word Himmel, that's a short vowel. Double the M. Den Himmel bessere Zeiten mir.
Den Himmel bessere Zeiten mir erschlossen.
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 Right.
Den Himmel bessere Zeiten mir erschlossen. Du holde Kunst.
Okay, sorry, you're passing over the word du.
Du, yeah.
Which is equivalent to tú in Spanish.
Du holde Kunst.
Right.
Danke dir dafür.
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 So I know that you had German diction with Niels, right?
Yeah. Neubert,
So
yeah.
So you understand about short and long vowels.
Yes.
And you're doing it sometimes, but not always.
Okay.
Okay. So let's sing it and see where you are.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm assuming we need to move away, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to remind you, since I know how operatic your voice is, remember, this is a very simple song. And whatever you do, don't sing it operatically.
Okay.
Sing it intimately.
Apartments.com puts more renters in new homes.
From our sponsor.
Than any other website. How? By
I'm sorry, say again?
It was a commercial.
We know you've got your hands full.
So, Jose, I have to applaud you for the fact that you did not sing it operatically. That's terrific. Because I've never heard you sing anything that intimate, and that's not easy to do. But you're well able to do that, and that's great. That's great. Don't change the dynamic from what you did. You do have to be sure that when you go up, when you do in Himmelbest, so it's tell me that you definitely still support it and not let it go up. Yep. You'll fix that. That's simple. So the German's not bad, but I still think that you seem a little bit reluctant to use the consonants on when you have short vowels. Okay. So in a word like du holde Kunst, don't be afraid to let the ST take up part of the note value.
Okay.
And then in viel grauen Stunden. Don't be afraid to sing on where you have short vowels, sing on the consonants. But sing on the consonants in general, the total opposite of Spanish.
Yeah. Okay.
And how does this poem grab you? In other words, what made you choose to do it when you first decided to work on this poem, this song?
Hope. It's like a blanket to me, I think. A
blanket?
It's a blanket. It's like my very first teacher always said, the art will never hurt you. It'll always be your home. And I remember when I moved to New York to go to Manhattan School of Music, the change, being alone, the music was there with me. And then I graduated a couple of years ago, and then last year I had to travel so much. I went to China, I went to Mexico, I was in New York, I was in LA, and again, you experience different things, different culture. But then we all have souls, and it's like you connect with people's souls, and that's universal, which to me brings me back to music. The art is universal, and we all connect with the art. Even in China, when we had to exchange, singing the Chinese art songs, and then like kind of feeling, you have to learn the language, but at the same time, it's that same soul, whether it's missing home or having a loved one. So Andi Musik, especially in these times of trouble, it's a blanket. It's your home. So great. I thank art. Yeah.
Okay. So remember that in singing this song, don't be afraid to let your heart come through as you sing. I know I'm talking about a lot of details about the German, about this, about that, but in general, I know you and I know how you're able to do that. And don't be afraid to let your heart come through. And I can tell you a quick story about someone. I played back in the 70s. I played a lot with Phyllis Curtin, whom I loved, and I remember we were looking for an encore for a program, and I said, and I forget why I said this to her. I said, "What about just doing Andi Musik as an encore?" She said, "Oh, honey, I could never sing that song without breaking down. I would just break down and cry in front of the whole audience. There's no way I could ever sing it." So I just remember that stuck in my head. That was probably 1975, and I still remember that. And do you know who Phyllis Curtin was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Great. And she was a fabulous everything, and just a gorgeous lady. So I'm just saying that some people can't handle it. I know you can. I'm positive you can. So could we do it again? Mm-hmm. And can you personalize the song so that Jose comes through. And remember, don't be afraid of longer consonants where there are short vowels and more consonants. Do not be afraid to vibrate on the breath on the consonants.
Facial recognition.
So I have no doubt that you know how to put Jose into any song, and that's terrific. Let's talk though about some things I still want you to fix. In the second verse, when you go up, when you do Titan, I feel like you're trying to support that in a way as if it's a big operatic sound. And I know it's hard to go into that tessitura, but when you do Titan mir, can you be gentle with it as well as supporting it?
Okay.
When you do vu mich, you rarely close that vowel enough for German.
Okay.
So du holde Kunst, in wie viel grauen Stunden, wo mich des Lebens wilde Kreis umstreckt. Then, when you do hast du, you don't have to do hast du. That would make it sound almost Italian. Hast du, rather than hast du. Just put the double, make it a double D.
Okay.
Hast du. So
harmonize
when you have that combination T and D, you can make it a double D.
The voice, okay. Keep it
right.
voiced.
And then when you do hast mich, every consonant has to be seen in front of you. Hast mich, hast mich. So the T to the M has to still be there so that you're never taking any sound for granted. And you don't generally, but right there you did. When you do oft, hat ein Seufzer, that open O in German needs to be more oft. Oft hat ein Seufzer.
Okay.
Then you must be sure that you sing den Himmel. You're not singing den Himmel. You're singing den Himmel.
Okay.
So that has to be a really good closed A vowel. And then Satan is what you're doing. You're supporting it as if you were going to sing the F sharp at the end of the count, sorry. Okay? And then those are the things I wrote down. But sorry guys. But the thing about emotion, no problem. You really have a sense of Innigkeit and a sense of real honesty in the way you put it across.
Thank you.
And that's important. So, but I do want you to work on, when you go into the upper tessitura, that you can still be gentle.
Okay.
So could we just do the second verse? Oft hat ein Seufzer. Sorry, hold on, Jose, 1 second. I've got sirens going down Broadway. Okay. This is the second verse. Okay, sorry, Jose, sorry. You're not giving me the consonants. Oft hat ein so. Don't be afraid to give breath strokes on the consonants. It won't be the kind of legato that you have in Spanish or Italian. It's a different kind of legato in German, which is based on the consonants as well as the vowels.
Okay.
Oft.
Oft hat ein Seufzer deine Harfe entflossen.
Okay, sorry, Jose. I'm not getting Seufzer. Seufzer. Take your time. Take your time to make every single consonant vibrate so that you know where it vibrates in your mouth.
Okay.
One more time.
Oft hat ein Seufzer deine Harfe entflossen. Ein süßer, heiliger Akkord von dir, den Himmel bessere Zeiten mir erschlossen.
Okay, good. Hold on 1 sec. Would you just do that phrase? Would you do Zeiten and sustain 10, but without crescendo? Just so you can feel where it is in your body. Right. So you're finding it later as you sustain the note. You're finding it, but you got to find that immediately, and so that it doesn't sound uncomfortable vocally nor shut down. So when you sustain it, then you put your finger on where it is, and you know exactly where it is in your body. Can you find that quickly or not?
Okay.
Zeiten.
Good, good. Okay, do you feel the difference?
I just
Hello?
Took the
It's
Verdi off.
Sorry?
I just took the Verdi off the pedal. Zeiten. Instead of Zeiten. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely don't need that Italianate sound in this song.
Yeah, so I think when I'm singing Bessere, I think that's what's I'm putting too much gas, so that's why it's popping out. So I think I also have to handle Bessere so that Saiten can come out that way in a certain way.
And did you just say too much gas? Is that what you said?
Too much, yeah, too much.
Yeah, yeah. You're putting your foot on the accelerator
Yeah.
rather than just keep it the same. Don't jam your foot. Don't put the pedal to the metal.
Yeah. Maybe that's why my truck broke down yesterday. It's the fuel pump. It's all reflecting on art. Okay.
Oh my God. You're probably the kind of guy who fixes his own car.
Yeah, and hope I don't make it worse. Yeah.
Can we do from Den Himmel? Sorry, Jose, I gotta stop you. You're tending to still sing one M rather than Den Himmel. Don't be afraid of vibrating on the double M's.
Okay.
Den Himmel bessere Zeiten mir erschlossen. Du holde Kunst, ich danke dir dafür. Du holde Kunst, ich danke dir.
Okay. So, you're working on with the things we're talking about. I still think that you're reluctant to go as far as I would like you to go with the color and the vibration of the consonants. You still are like to do typical Italian or Spanish line, which has quick consonants that are out of the way. Let the German consonants vibrate on the breath the same way the vowels are. And that means a much more exaggerated sense of the consonant color
Okay.
throughout. And not just go with like Himmel bessere Zeiten mir. That's more what you're doing rather than Den Himmel bessere Zeiten mir erschlossen. Don't be afraid of that.
Okay.
You're very wedded to Italian or Spanish vowel legato of vowels.
Right.
And that's important, but it's not all of what German is.
Okay, so I'll just exaggerate it right now and see what happens then.
Sorry?
So I should just exaggerate it right now and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do the second verse one more time.
Oft hat ein Seufzer deine Harfe entflossen. Zeiten mir erschlossen. Du holde Kunst, ich danke dir dafür. Du holde Kunst, ich danke dir.
Okay, Jose. So, I still feel that when we get to the hard phrases, you resort to an operatic technique to go up.
That bel canto, yeah.
Rather than just be gentle. You are able to do that. I know you. You're able to do it, but you're resorting to technique and making it begins to get very operatic. Okay. Rather than just stay gentle. You did it very well when you separated the phrase, and you really did it excellently. But then you go to sing the whole thing, and you get, oh, now I'm gonna be macho, and there's nothing macho about this song at all, and that's not who you are. I know. Any thoughts on this, Jose? Any thoughts on what I'm saying?
I completely agree.
Sorry?
I definitely agree. I think that's what makes the difference of lieder and opera just so beautiful, is that vulnerability in art song, and it's a balance. So that's what I'm getting. I need to find that balance, and I don't know if it's a little more vulnerability. Maybe.
You can look at it that way. You can also look at it just vocally and say, I'm not going to just let my voice bloom as it goes up, which is what all singers tend to do. They ascend and they let their voices bloom, which would be in a sort of a Straussian feeling, rather than what's going on here. The accompaniment doesn't make any crescendi. It's simple. You have to remain the same, simple and gentle with it.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave that right there and let you think about it and work. I know you're well able to do this. I just think you may have to go back and just remind yourself, which you just said, the difference between singing operatically and singing a song is very different in terms of the amount of sound that needs to be let out, and also how much you don't need to put your foot on the gas as you go up. Okay, just you're not on the freeway. You're not on the Hollywood freeway.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
You have to stay on a side street.
Right.
Just be on a side street to sing this song, and get off the freeway.
Okay, for sure. Yeah.
Jose, any questions?
No, it's very clear. Very clear. It's interesting. I think I'm gonna also practice it at a kind of a higher key too. I think one of the I don't know. I'm definitely going to do this, and I'm going to mess with some keys too. I think I used to sing this in a higher key, but now I think the softness in this key. I'm doing the comparison in my head right now, and I think this is perfect for that. Kind of reminds me of when I sing Mein Zehnen and Mein Venen, that type of atmospheric high instead of the Verdi high. You know what I mean?
You got it. And I think I would definitely not do this higher. Definitely not. If anything, maybe a half step lower. That might make it easier to do that bessere.
Yeah, because that's in the passaggio for sure.
I know very well. I feel it in my passaggio. So I got it.
Wonderful. So, yeah. Thank you.
I'm so glad you were here. Did Unsung tell you about it?
No, I think I saw it on Facebook, and I saw your
Oh.
face on it, and I was like, so I emailed, and then I called Unsung and asked him, are you gonna watch? But he was busy today, so
Right.
right. So I was just hoping that I could watch, and so now, I mean, how lucky am I today? Thank you, Maestro.
Well, we're lucky too. Thank you so much, Jose.
Thank you, Jose.
You too.
Thank you. And I've asked everyone to unmute so that we can clap officially for all of our singers and our guest artist, the wonderful Thomas Muraco. So does anyone have any questions for our guest artist, Maestro Muraco, or for any of the singers?
Well, I just want to say thank you to Lisa and Samantha and Jose. Jose and Lisa I know very well. I was in Europe, I met Jose in Europe, and of course I've known Lisa forever. So thank you so much. And to Maestro as well. I think I met Maestro maybe when I attended Unsung's concert, his graduate. Right, right.
Probably.
Thank you for a wonderful evening. Yes.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, sorry. I didn't know if someone else was about to jump in with a question.
Going back to the key for the An die Musik, what key was that? Was that D major or D major?
No, Jose.
Jose, which key were you singing the An die Musik in?
I think I used to sing it in D.
D major.
Well, that's the original key.
Yes, it is.
And so I would try it, Jose, in D flat. And it's not printed in D flat, but it's easy to play in D flat. Just change all the sharps to flats, or do it in C major. And here's your friend,
Giacomo. I call him Giacomo the Pooch. Ini.
This Jose and Giacomo love each other.
Oh yeah. I'm his Tio Pepe. His uncle.
He's been wanting to come up here all day. So, and Jose would take him in rehearsal and put him on his chest. And Giacomo would get lost on his chest completely.
Is that a Havanese?
So I would do it. I would try it first in D flat, and then try it in C, and see what
this today. This was in C.
I thought that wasn't
yeah.
D. I thought
No. Originally, I used to sing it in D. Now I've been singing it in C. So I was going to the Verdi repertory. I would not go higher, and maybe try it in B. I'm pretty sure it's published in B also, and then try that, because this is not singing songs is not about showing off your high notes. Very, very rarely. There are a few songs like that, but generally it's not about that. Except if you're singing the four last songs of Strauss, that's very different. But for you, don't go higher, and possibly try it in B. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose, for singing that. It's one of my very, very favorite songs.
Yes, I mean, all of the songs are wonderful repertoire. It's actually one of my favorite things about doing these master classes is seeing the interesting repertoire that comes in. And so today, I love in particular Jose's story and message behind An die Musik, as well as Samantha's story about the In der Fremden, the being away from home. Those two messages that you both shared today was really welcome. Welcome.
And I'm also sorry that the lady who was going to sing Befreit had to cancel.
I am too. Befreit would have been a wonderful addition. But again, thank you so much, Tom and singers today, and of course the community who joined us for this masterclass. It's been a full afternoon, so I think it's a good time to end. But unless there's any other lingering questions, I certainly don't want to cut anyone off. I had planned on ending with another recording with Tom at the piano. So any other question before I play that? And you can stay and listen to it. We invite you obviously to do that. When it's over, feel free to sign off. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. And again, just so much thank you to Tom.
What are you playing?
Thank you, Maestro.
What are you going to play?
Thank you.
You're welcome, all of you.
So I'm going to play John Cheek, bass baritone, singing an excerpt from Winterreise with you at the piano.
Oh.
Now, we don't have to have it.
No. I'm curious. Please.
Okay.
Which one?
The last one, Frozen Tears. Not the last one. The Frozen Tears.
Gefrorenen Tränen.
And again, if you're here on the Zoom call, I invite you to come back in 2 weeks, same time, same station, a different link, of course. The passwords are sent out just a couple of days before. The evening before. Just have to message me, and that will be for with Mark Markham. And then 2 weeks after that, a month from now, will be Neil Siemer, an American songbook. It's one of my favorite. I know it's not technically art song, but I think it makes wonderful recital repertoire to add to a program. So one of my favorite genre. And then in November, the first week into November, provided we're not in a civil war, I invite you to come join us for Latin American song. And then in 2021, we have some others. We have African American art song. We have French song. We'll be having a masterclass with Rayanne Bryce Davis, a mezzo-soprano, who is going to be our recitalist for us as well. So it's a wonderful time to be involved in art song virtually until we can get past all this. So without further ado, I will sign off. Yes.
Before you run, Julia, can I get? I'm going to put my. I'll put my email into the chat, or I can just give it. I'll put it in the chat, and so you can please write me, and we can communicate and catch up. Unless you want to hang out for a few minutes after this.
Can we do that? I don't know if we can do that.
Blair, how long can we stay?
No. You feel free. You guys can stay and chat. And then I'll actually check a private phone call that I have with another participant on here, James.
Okay. But you're going to play Winterreise.
Yes, I'll play Winterreise, and then I'll let you all chat. Okay, wonderful. Thank you all again for joining.
Will you email us ahead of time for the next program?
So I'm not sure where you found out about this. We
had an email.
You got an email, yes. So we have we put it on our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our Twitter page, our website, and then we send out an e-blast. So you must be on our subscriber list and receive our emails.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So here we go. We're going to hear next time.
This is a song from Winterreise, Gefrorenen Tränen, and it means frozen tears. And this is John Cheek, bass baritone, with myself at the piano, from a recording of Winterreise.
Oh, zerschmelzen des ganzen Winters Eis, des ganzen Winters Eis.
Haven't heard that.
Thank you all. Thank you. And thank you, Tom. That was magnificent.
Thank you, Blair.
We'll see you all again.
Yes.
Thanks,
Yes.
everyone.
Thank you.
Hang on there, Jules.
Bye.